You'd think getting turned away at the border would be about something dramatic, like a secret criminal past or a forged passport, but sometimes it comes down to your health. Immigration law has this whole hidden medical chapter that most people don't even know exists until they're sitting across from a doctor at a government-approved clinic. The United States has a list of medical conditions that can make someone inadmissible, which is just a fancy legal word for sorry you can't come in. It sounds harsh, but the system has been around since the 1880s, when officials were literally turning away ships full of people for having contagious diseases. The big one that most people know about is tuberculosis, or TB, and it's still a major reason people get flagged today. If you test positive for active TB, you're not getting a visa anytime soon, but here's the twist. Latent TB, where the bacteria is just chilling in your body without making you sick, is a completely different story. Communicable diseases of public health significance are the main category you need to understand, and the CDC is the one that gets to decide what makes that list. Think of the CDC as the bouncer of the medical world, and their clipboard determines who gets past the velvet rope. COVID-19 was temporarily added to that list, which turned immigration into an absolute maze for a few years there. We all lived through that chaos, but imagine trying to immigrate during a global pandemic while also learning a new language and a new legal system. No thank you. Beyond infectious diseases, there's another category that surprises people: certain physical or mental disorders associated with harmful behavior. This doesn't mean having anxiety or depression automatically disqualifies you. It's much more specific than that, and this is where immigration lawyers earn their fees by explaining the nuance. The law is looking for a pattern of harmful behavior that's connected to a disorder, not just a diagnosis sitting in your medical file. So, having a history of, say, violence or serious legal trouble tied to a mental health condition can raise a red flag, but the condition alone is almost never enough to bar you. Drug abuse and addiction fall into their own category, and this one catches people off guard because recreational drug use is increasingly legal in various states, but federal immigration law doesn't care what Colorado thinks about marijuana. If a doctor finds evidence of drug abuse during your medical exam, that's a problem. Here's something most people skip right past. The vaccination requirement is part of the medical inadmissibility rules too. If you're missing certain required vaccines, you can actually be found inadmissible, which sounds wild until you remember that measles outbreaks are very much still a thing in 2025. The good news is that many of these medical grounds of inadmissibility come with something called a waiver, which is basically immigration's way of saying, okay, fine, but let's talk about it. Waivers aren't guaranteed, but they exist, and a good immigration lawyer knows exactly how to build a case for one. The medical exam itself is performed by a USCIS designated civil surgeon, which is not just any doctor. You can't walk into your regular clinic for this. These are specially certified physicians who know immigration law almost as well as they know medicine, and their report carries enormous weight in your case. Preparation is everything here, and that means going into your medical exam knowing your full health history, your vaccination records, and any treatments you've completed. Showing up to that exam unprepared is like taking a final exam without knowing what class you're in. Technically possible, but deeply inadvisable. One underrated piece of advice is to get those vaccination records translated and organized well before your appointment, because missing paperwork can delay everything by weeks or even months. Immigration timelines are already notoriously slow, and you genuinely do not want to add a preventable medical delay on top of that. The whole system can feel overwhelming and even a little dehumanizing, like you're being reduced to a checklist of acceptable biological conditions. But understanding the rules is the first step to navigating them, and knowing what to expect means you can actually show up ready instead of blindsided. If you want to go deeper into how immigration lawyers help people navigate medical inadmissibility, and so much more, are you ready to learn about our company and how we can help? Check out the links in the description.